Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. Today is another great day outside. A little muggy, clouds coming and going, so I was able to get out and do a walk this morning so I can provide more trash to all the people. I'm getting some great feedback on not only on here but on next door as well for continuing to pick up the trash. This was the 8th week that I've been doing it. You'd think I would run out by now, but human nature in some instances seems like we just don't care at some point. I know I threw away trash when I was younger and didn't even think about it, and maybe my getting a little extra good karma by picking up stuff now. So I'm gonna have Trashy Hood. I'm gonna have a quick beer review. I was actually able to get out to Boutique, so that was good. Update on some projects. Update on some upcoming projects. I have a really good one. More of a party than a project, but it's got a P in it, so it's all good. And then a Zen moment and something a little bit different. Well, it's not different, pretty much the same, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. So let's just go straight into it. I know I went a little bit long last time. I apologize for that. But let's go to the one that I get second most feedback about, which is Trashy Hood. So let's take a look at what I found this week. Okay, so we start out with day one, which I was pleasantly surprised. There wasn't that much out there, but you see some beverage container and some cigarette boxes, and of course the normal cigarette butts. But there was only 9 this time, so I was kind of pleased with that. Bits of plastic and string and a nail and a flyer that came from someone's mailbox that looked like they just tossed it onto the side. I did find it by some mailboxes though. This one was rather unfortunate. It's a day 4, so there's a lot of plastic and bits of plastic and a paper bag that's for poop and bits of string and aluminum foil and a beverage container, and then quite a load of cigarette butts. This was a different route than day 1, of course, and it just disappoints me that there's this much cigarette butts out there. And I'm going through some of the same streets every week, but this is a little bit more than I thought. So here we are, day 6. So this was Saturday. This was our Java run, our walk, I should say. Bits of plastic, water bottle, a container from the coffee shop, a bunch more cigarette butts. I seem to find them close to locations that are being done by construction, stuff like that. Not saying it's a construction guys, it's just that someone's sitting there watching them doing something. It seems like it's in the street. And then this morning, again, not pleasantly happy about this, but I shouldn't be surprised anymore. Broken sprinkler head right in the middle of the sidewalk. Skull. Another cigarette box that actually had 16 out of the 20 cigarettes still in there. I got to toss that, thankfully. A water bottle, some plastic, beef jerky, both one side and the other of the wrapping, and they were both on different sides of the street. So that was interesting. So there you go. So I've been getting some good feedback on the trash hood. A lot of positive thoughts and thanks and all gratitude for picking it up. And for the most part, I am picking up the trash because I do want to keep my streets clean that I walk down, and it just doesn't look nice. But the other thing is that it holds me, and I think I mentioned this last week. It holds me accountable to walk. So I'm walking more and more now, about 2 miles every time I go out. About an hour. It sounds like an hour, could sound like a lot to a lot of people, but remember I'm stopping and going, stopping and going. So it's not a full hard walk, though I try to walk hard when and fast when I'm in between picking up. But those cigarette butts like to hide, so it's quite interesting on there. So I got some great feedback on that. Thank you for that. For those of you who are new, first of all, welcome to Javier in the Air. I should have said that sooner, but welcome anyway. And 2, I am staying safe. Wash my hands before. Try to use gloves, or I use gloves when I do the separation. I have a grabber for when I pick up all the trash and put it into the trash, into my recyclable trash bag that I just keep with me, a little hand one. Y'all might see me out there with my Indiana Jones type hat. It's not really Indiana Jones. It's more of uh, just somebody out there with a hat. And a lot of other things out there. And then I wash my hands twice with hot water when I come back, regardless of whether I actually touched anything or not, just to be on the safe side in case I scratch my nose like I do right now. To assure or assuage some of the fears that people had, I'm staying safe. I understand that there's stuff out there that could happen to me, so I'm making sure everything's good. Plus, I don't pick up what would be considered organic material, such as animal waste. At least I'm hoping that it's only animal waste. I also don't pick up. I try not to pick up food. I'll pick up containers, but I won't pick up any food that's strewn along the street. I figure the ants and the birds and all other sorts of animals and critters can get to it, and that's just, even though I'm probably giving them heart disease by letting them eat all that processed food, I'm gonna let them eat it rather than just throw it into a trash, where it's gonna go to a landfill and take forever to decompose. I also stay on public streets and public sidewalks, and even parts of the grass is considered public. If you have a sidewalk, anything from the sidewalk to your house is considered private. Anything from the sidewalk to the street can be construed as public, even though you may have to still maintain it for your HOAs and stuff like that. You'll notice that if you try to put an election sign on there, you will get not ticketed, but you will get warned saying that it's public property and you can't post it on there. Anyway, so great feedback in that. I appreciate that. The second most feedback I get is having to do with my Zen moment. Some really great feedback on that. More like, hey, that's really cool. I like it. Nothing like you need to tweak this or you need to tweak that. I did get some good feedback for the sunrise on Pompano Beach. Thanks again to Angela Green for that. People really liked it. They got to see something else. So if you're not in the Austin Cedar Park area, or even if you are in the Austin Cedar Park area and you'd like to send me something that you would be considered for a Zen moment, then by all means send it to me. I normally don't put the audio on there. For the sunrise, you got to hear the ocean, so I definitely left it on, but otherwise I normally don't. Actually, and so let me finish. So the if you have something, send it my way. As long as it's not crude or crass or rude or anything like that, and you're not trying to plug anything, you're just trying to show nature at its best, or not even if it's nature, if it's just, walking down a street, sure, that's kind of nature, but you know what I'm saying. It's not just out in a field, and you're not out, running amongst the puppies and so on and so forth. But if you like to see it on the show, send it to me, or if you like to be on the show, let me know. All right, so we're gonna go straight into our. I was gonna do another piece, but I think we're gonna go into our Zen moment. So let's do our Zen moment. Sit back, relax, enjoy a minute and a half of our Zen moment, and then we'll come back to reality. Pull a coin from your pocket or your purse. Find two that are of the same denomination. Take a look at them. One may be shiny and new, as fresh as the day is long, like a new sun unfettered by time. And the other, why, the other may be dirty, covered with grime and aged by the years it has been around. But the truth of the matter is that they will both be accepted when used. Why is this? Because they both have the same thing in common: value. So remember this as you go through your life. At every point in our lives, whether still young or reaching many handfuls of years, we should be accepted, and we should accept, because we all have value. And there we go, everyone. There's our Zen moment, which is actually kind of perfect for today in remembrance of 9/11. We need to remember that everyone has value. So the next one, or the next piece I have is two items left. This one is the one I get the most feedback on so far, and this is on the bottom line. So I've been doing some topics on here that, while not exactly controversial, bring up a lot of discussion amongst people that I know, and I've gotten some feedback about that. Nothing directly, other than some comments about quiet quitting and quiet working and the doing your job and about the hiring and the great resignation and the great rehiring and those sort of things. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about um, retirement and or leaving things in the future. So this is a couple people actually brought it up to me this week, so I thought it'd be great to talk about. So let's go and have our bottom line. Hey, hey! So welcome to the bottom line. This is the. I'm sorry, Ma. I have to apologize to my mom again. I've been doing that lately. People are like, "Why are you apologizing to your mom?" There's something about my glasses that or my ears aren't level, and so it's throwing the glasses off, and it's driving my mom nuts because it looks lopsided. So, no, I gotta go that way. Okay, so we're gonna talk today again because it's September 11th. I thought it would be a good thing to bring up more of a less of a happier bottom line or argumentative bottom line, but more of a informational bottom line. Legacy box. So I was introduced to this a couple of weeks ago. What it means, what it's for, what you do with it, that sort of thing. So as we all start aging, yes, everyone is aging, even me. There are things that we may need to do to be prepared for long-term disability, long-term health problem, or us passing. So I was talking to my friend, and we were talking about. She brought up something called legacy box, and so, and again, this is Angela. The legacy box is basically a container, a file, a cabinet, a drawer in your office, a drawer in your house, somewhere easily accessible to your loved ones that can get to it, that has information that is necessary for things that you own. So there's 5 things for sure that you should have in it. I hope I get them right, because we went back and forth to figure out which 5 they were. So the main 5, there's a bunch of other ones, of course, but the main 5 is, and I'm trying to get the light out of my eyes again for my sake, a will, a living will, a power of attorney, a healthcare surrogate, and a HIPAA. What do you call it? HIPAA permission, I guess I'll call it. I can't think of the other name for it. So, will, of course, pretty obvious. You can find templates of it all over the place. You can go to a lawyer and have one written up and everything. Basically, what the will is saying is, I am not insane. At least, I don't have any paperwork saying I'm insane. And I would like to delve out my items to my family and friends. I'd like to leave my truck to so and so. I'd like to leave the house to so and so. That sort of thing. That's one way you can do it with the will. Now, some of these other things that can go into a legacy box can make a will kind of obsolete. So you want to have a will as definitely as much as possible on it. So as a failsafe. But what you want to be sure is you want to have also in your legacy box is a list of all accounts that you have that has your money in it. And this could be not just like someone like me who's living alone, but you can have a spouse or significant other, and they can have their accounts in there as well. So it's something that you just have for if you have a safe, you put it in there, or a safe deposit box if you still use those. So, will, I want to give this to this and that to this and that to that. Living will is what should happen if you become infirmed and unable to say what you want to be done, what like to be done with you when it comes to healthcare. It's also one of those, turn off the machines if something were to happen. I don't want to live like that. Kind of thing. Power of attorney. So if you become infirmed and you're unable to say what you want to do with your accounts, say what you want to do with your mortgage, say what you want to do with anything really that has to do with that you were doing before, you need the power of attorney that you can then say, I'd like to do, or I'm doing this on behalf of Javier, and so on. Healthcare surrogate is kind of like what I was talking about with the living will. Again, how should I be taken care of in times, not necessarily if I'm on a machine, but if I'm unable to speak and do anything, if I'm in a coma, and so on. And then the HIPAA permission, which is to allow medical professionals and to talk to you about my condition. I have a condition that you perhaps didn't know about, and when you go to see me in the hospital to try to understand what care I should have, then they're gonna be able to have permission to talk to you about that. So those are the main five that you want to have in what we call a legacy box. And it's not me calling it a legacy box. You can look it up. So now on your accounts, you want to have all your accounts listed somewhere safe, but all your accounts with your password, login and password, so that they can get in and do something with the account if you're infirmed or you're unavailable for a long period of time, or if you have passed on. You want to have beneficiaries. I keep saying subsidiaries, beneficiaries for all your stuff. And it turns out you can have that for everything. Anything of a financial nature, you can have a beneficiary. Who do I want to give my truck to? Who do I want to give my house to? Who do I want to take over my accounts? Who do I want, to take over, my melons and my loofah in the backyard? Okay, maybe not those two, but just about everything else you can have a beneficiary on. And it turns out you can have multiple primary beneficiaries. I was just finding that out right now. You can say, I want Tom and Billy and Sarah all to be my primary beneficiaries. And then you can have secondary, and then you can have tertiary. The good thing about that is that if you choose some people or you have people that are older than you, for example, in your family, and you choose all of them as your primaries, or you choose them as primary, secondary, tertiary, first, second, third, and they all pass before you, then you have to go back and redo all your stuff again, because you want to make sure that you give as little as possible. You still want to pay your taxes and give taxes on that, I get it. But if you don't do any of this, it's going to go into probate, which means they get more, they being not your family. So, what we're looking at here then is, I keep cocking my head so that the glasses are not straight. Alright, so I know it's going to drive me nuts now. I'm going to have to find another way to do it. Or fix my ears. Okay, so why do I bring this up? Because there's been a lot of people passing in the news. Today is 9/11. The Queen, Elizabeth, just died a couple days ago. Went very quick. And so got me thinking about, what do you do? What happens if something happens very quick? She was just, for example, the Queen was just talking to the new Prime Minister and giving her the regal, you're Prime Minister now, do well for the country, and then like a day and a half later, she had passed. So if she had been one that didn't have any paperwork at all, of course, it's a bad example because I'm sure she's I mean, everybody knows who belongs to what from her, billions of dollars and so on. But if, for example, she didn't have anything because she wasn't 96 years old, say she was 76 years old or 66 years old, and just didn't care because she's like, I'm going to live forever, then there would be some problems. So, um, get your legacy box in. Do it if you have a spouse or significant other. Do it with them, so they know. Put it in a spot where they'll know where to get it. Put it in a spot where people outside of your spouse or significant know where to get it in case they need to. You don't have to have everything all in one. I mean, you need to have the legacy box like I talked about, but you may not need to have those accounts inside that box. You can have the accounts somewhere else. Preferably in the box would be better, but if you're kind of paranoid like I am, you may not want to put everything in one box. And if you put it in that box, you want to make sure that box is secure. Um, so, is it a good thing? Yes. Is it something that we don't want to talk about all the time? Yes. But it needs to be done. So the bottom line is if you want to protect what you have and you want to make sure that it goes to your family and not to the man, then look into a legacy box. And that's the bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents Javier in the Air with Spirit Times. This week, Meanwhile Brewing Company. Hey everybody. So, Meanwhile Brewing Company out of Austin, Texas, out on Promontory Point. Really good location, great tap room, great charcuterie that they have there. It's fantastic. I recommend going and seeing it. This is their Secret Beach. This is their San Diego style IPA, 6.2 ABV. It was really good IPA. It wasn't heavily too much on the sour, and it didn't have anything too crazy in it. And it turned out to be really, really nice. It was refreshing. It's a big can, so if you're not ready to handle a big can early in the morning, you might want to save this for midday after you have some barbecue or something like that. But really good. I highly recommend it. I gave it 7 thumbs out of 10, and I think you should definitely check it out. If you're in Austin, go to Meanwhile Brewing Company, and this is a free ad for them. So just check it out. And if you can't go to Meanwhile, then you should go to the Boutique, and you can ask Scott for it, and he's got it there. So Meanwhile Brewing Company, Secret Beach. Hey everybody. So that's it for the show for the most part. A couple of items, housekeeping items, so to speak. Upcoming projects. So I am continually to work on my loofah garden. It's become basically my loofah and melon garden, but loofah's been taking over crazy because of the rain. I'll have to get some pictures next week and show you. But that also means that I currently have 7 loofah for sale, ranging anywhere from about 2 feet to about 28 inches. And they are $7 a piece. So if you are a soap maker and you'd like to add loofah to your soap, I highly recommend that you get it from me. Since I have it, it's here. You can come pick it up, or I can drop it off. Just let me know. And my melons haven't taken off yet, but because of the rain, that they've kind of made a comeback. There's a lot more blooms, so I'm hoping that I'll get some more melons before melon season is up. And then I'll take on whatever my next project is as far as growing goes. Still working on the Stepping Stone project. And I wanted to let everybody know that the tastings are coming back. So for those of you who may not know, I moved to a house and I said I'm going to be more social. So I started doing alcohol tasting of some sort. A beer, alcohol, like a spirit of some sort, or a wine. And so I did that for almost every month for 4 years. And then COVID happened, and then other things have happened, still COVID, so I haven't been able to do it as well. I've had some brunches here and there that you've seen on the show, and I'm trying to bring back an official tasting. So next month in October, we're doing a pumpkin beer tasting. So if you're local and you want to join in on that, bring your favorite pumpkin beer. My brother and I have got quite a few down, and we did quite a few last year when it was just he and I, and then 2 years ago when my cousin Jesse, neighbor James, and a young lady named Candace joined us via Zoom, and so that turned out to be really great. So we're looking forward to it. There will be food. We will be. Everyone will be vaccinated. It's my choice on my rules, my house. Everyone's going to be vaccinated. If you still want to keep some social distance, you can. But pumpkin beer tasting. We're going to have some pumpkin themed pastries, probably, definitely some food. So it's going to be great bringing back the tasting. So, like I said, if you're interested, shoot me a line. If you'd like to see a different Zen moment or you want to contribute that, please send me a note. If you think of a good topic on the bottom line, or would you like some more information on any of the bottom lines that I've done, then shoot me a message as well. I'd love to steer you towards more information on any of the topics that I've covered so far on the bottom line. And send me your thoughts. Let me know how I'm doing, what you think about it. I'm kind of trying to constantly keep it exciting, keep it motivated. I talk about just about everything except for the two. The two, religion and politics. There's way too many podcasts and shows and TV reality this and news itself to cover those two areas that I don't need to cover it. So, but anything else is up for fair game. So let's talk about it. And so that's it for today. I hope everybody has had at least some remembrance for 9/11 today. But keep your thoughts happy. Remember, we all have value. And I will see you again next week. Thanks a lot, everyone.